The other. It's one of the great paradoxes of sharing human design with people is more people are worried about the other, you know, their lover or the lover they're looking for or the boyfriend they want or the girlfriend they wish they had, than they are themselves. And it's something that I've seen, you know, from my experience. It was quite funny to see this. You know, a few years ago I was teaching a lot of human design lectures and doing talks and so forth, you know, 1 to 2 times a week, literally, and for quite some time. And we would have the lectures in the evening at 5 p.m., you know, for the people to come and, you know, look at their own stuff and we to work on them. And, you know, maybe 5 or 10 people would show up or something like that, you know, just as an average, you know, maybe sometimes more, sometimes even less, whatever. But then Ra gave us the sex class. But it came on at 7 a.m. in the morning. Man, the room was packed. It was so funny. I was like, oh my God, if this doesn't illustrate to, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe 20, 25, 30 people are showing up at 7 a.m. to learn about sex and the other, and there's only 4 or 5 people coming at 5 p.m. to learn about themselves, you know. It was just one of those things that was such a beautiful benchmark or watermarker of where people have their emphasis, you know. Everyone's got their emphasis on the other. You know, out there in the not-self world, everyone's worried about getting the other, having the other, connecting with, having someone else. And in human design, it's about yourself. Now, in human design, there can easily be others. There's certainly nothing wrong with having another. You know, that's not saying that either, but that the emphasis needs to be on you, man. It's on you and your truth. And it may be correct for you to be with someone, and it may not be correct for them to be with you. And then if you're really solid in this, that's what you want. You don't want someone to be with you that's not correct for them. To really love someone in a human design perspective means, hey, look, I want what's best for you, come hell or high water. It's your trip, and if I'm not right for you, then I want you to get whatever is good for you. You know, so the other is this real trap for people, and it's funny because it's, you know, one of the very first things I have to deal with at the beginning of many readings is people are, well, how do I find, you know, the love of my life? You know, how do I find my soulmate? I will wake up and be yourself and find out if that's even correct for you. Or how about this, if you even care anymore? I mean, I used to be addicted to the other too. I used to always want to have a girlfriend and sex and all that stuff that comes with, you know, being human. You know, and now, I mean, first of all, I'm just not very easy to be around. I mean, I'm just going to tell the truth, guys. I mean, me personally, I'm not that easy to be around. Lots of people think they want to be around me for about a week. And then they realize what they're dealing with. They're like, oh, this is not fun. But to be around someone that has their own authority and in a second can leave or move or do what's correct for them, that's scary to 99.9% of the population. You know, that is very terrifying because in a second, something can be wrong for me. Second, gone. And I have no emphasis or interest really in the other. You know, the other to me, at least for my process, and I don't know what's right for yours, is a bother. You know, it's a hindrance for me. It's not interesting. And I'm not saying that there aren't others in my life. There are lots of beautiful people. And when the right person comes along, hey, my spleen lights up and says this is good for me, hey, I'm all for it. It's not that I'm against having the other. I'm against needing the other. Most people are very needy about the other, you know, and I've seen some pretty cool examples lately of people that are really in love. It's sweet to watch, you know, it is. It's sweet, you know, and but you know, those are more, you know, I noticed that that's more kind of the generator strip, you know, the fuzzy, buzzy, let's connect and stay connected, and hey, cool, man, if it's and it's for both people, and that's good for you, then good for you. I support you. I have nothing against relating to the other. I have a big problem with relationship, where all of a sudden there's a ship. You know, I like to say, look, the ship sank. You know, you want to relate with someone and they're flying along in space next to you, and you happen to look out the window and you're waving and you're sharing your experience and it's all correct for everyone. Beautiful. But as soon as it becomes the ship, man, the ship's sunk, guys. The ship's over. You know, this trip is about you and you getting what's correct for you. And then you see whether or not the other is even interesting or of any value to you. And if they are beautiful, you have my support 100%. And I would be willing to bet that many of you are going to find that what at first was this longing or this neediness, like everything else in your design, you're going to discover that what needs the other in the beginning isn't you. And in the end, if the other is there and it's correct for you, then beautiful, guys, really. I mean, I have nothing against relating and humans being together. I mean, that would be silly stance to take. I just know that it's not my truth at this point to need the other or to even have another in my life. That's not saying lots haven't tried. They have. For about a week. That's about how long. And then they go, my God, dude, you never shut off, do you? I'm like, no, I'm a projector, and all I see is what's wrong, and I don't really think you want to be here. And they're like, yeah, you're right, I'll see you later, But anyway, it's sweet. I wish everybody the best, because this is really a journey home, a journey to yourself. And let's just make sure you keep that in perspective. And if the other shows up, beautiful. And if they're not, you'll be just as good, maybe better. That's my perspective.